Hi, this is Amelia, totally radical Amelia. I wanted to kind of circle back to the topic of consent, which I did a video on a while back, but I've had a couple of situations, and here's Celestine, our beautiful little Celestine. There have been a couple situations that have kind of hit close to home involving consent. So I'm going to talk about them. And because this video is going up on YouTube, I have to be careful about the wording that I use. So if I use words that are kind of silly, that's why. So I wanted to talk about like consent when it comes to using protection. So there is a term that people use for when someone decides to take off the protection and not inform the other person that they have taken it off. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, but it's stealthing. And so when a person says, yes, you can enter my body, but you have to use protection, right? And you decide to not do that, the consent is revoked. It's not there anymore because that's not what they consented to. And then I wanted to talk about another type of intimacy, we will say. If you are going where no man or no person has gone before, whether it's the front or the back, and the person tells you that you need to go slow and be gentle, you need to go slow and be gentle. Because if you don't, then consent is gone because you are not going by the terms and conditions. So therefore, you need to not do it. If you do it, you cause excruciating pain and extreme terror, because it's terrifying when someone does something to your body that you don't want done to it. So if you do that, then you deserve whatever karma comes your way. And if someone confronts you on either of these, like, so in the situations that hit close to home here, both people were confronted on it. One of them, once the legal definition was thrown out there, like, hey, if you take off the protection and you proceed, that is legally, we know what word it is. I'm not gonna say it. If you know Pig Latin, it's apere. And when that person was confronted, they were cool, they understood, and they were like, never gonna happen again. That is how you should respond if someone tells you that you did something to them that they did not want. You should feel bad for it. You should probably apologize, and you should never do it again. That's how we grow and learn as human beings. In the second instant, which was to the person that it was done to, like, very painful and terrifying, the reaction was not great. And that person, denied and tried to kind of like blame it on, emotions, or hormone driven emotions, we'll say. And yeah, they did not react very well to the person that confronted them. So they kind of, going back to Pig Latin again, they kind of uxay. So anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to say, because consent is very important. And whether we're talking legally or otherwise, because we know that these kind of situations do not get reported usually, because the people who report it do not get listened to, do not get justice. Yeah, so in that case, all we can do is leave it up to karma. And if you do bad things to people, bad things will likely come your way. That's all. So yeah, make sure you get consent, enthusiastic, informed, The person needs to know where they stand in the situation. If you lie and say that you're, going to give them $1 million, or you're going to marry them or whatever to get what you want, that is called being a umske agbe. So yeah, don't do that, because that means you're a itty shay person pay. So trying to get around the YouTube rules here. So yeah, if you like what I have to say, or if you have something to add to what I have to say, want to share a situation you have been through, you have heard about, you have whatever, you don't even have to say that it happened to you. You can say, hey, I heard about this situation happening, whatever. I don't care. If you want to comment and, add your life experiences, or your friends, or your mothers, or your family, whatever, feel free to add to the conversation, because and if you have questions, like if you have any questions about consent, feel free to message me. I do have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Amylia, AMYLIA. So feel free to message me there if you have any questions or concerns around this topic, because this is something that I've, worked with for a long time. When I was in college, a few years back, I led discussions on these topics. So yeah, so feel free to add in the comment section. Feel free to subscribe on my Patreon. I'm hoping to create an online community, and maybe one day, if I can ever make enough money, I can form an in-person community, and just for people who are caring and kind and sensitive, and just good, positive people. I'm trying to kind of make space for us in this world that right now is anything but those things. So yeah, follow me, comment, like, subscribe, share, whatever floats your boat. All right, thank you. Bye.